So I was in my single season in LA, and I was healing through a breakup, divorce, and I'd only ever been with one person my whole life. And it was, it was a lot, like any breakup is. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be in this single season. I'm just going to get better. I'm going to heal. I'm going to go to my place of worship. I'm going to work out. And even my girlfriend, she was a realtor. I'm like, okay, if it's not like our faith and we're not working on our body and in our empires, we don't want anything to do with it. And then suddenly I'm like, okay, I think I should start going on dates. She's like, what happened? I'm like, well, girl, like, I mean, like, come on, right? I'm in my prime. And so anyways, so I started dating and I'm like, oh my God, I would go on dates and I'm like, can I just leave? Like, I would know in the first 5 seconds. I'm like, no, this is going to be an appetizer kind of thing. Like, I need to leave, like, I don't want projects. And so I got to this point where I was like, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what, it was just this whole exhausting thing. And I'm like, I'm trying too hard. It felt so forced. Me and my girlfriend would be like, all right, let's go to this bar tonight. We'll just sit there and see who we see. And I'm like, nothing is flowing. Everything is so forced right now. And I'm just going to add this in. I remember we were at this bar because we were like, oh, there's hot guys there, whatever. And it's like, I'm sitting there getting my drink and I turned around and I'm like, it's Owen Wilson. So he had a cute hat, the whole thing. He was amazing. I love him. Side tangent. I digress. Love. Okay, come back. Love. And so I'm like, I'm done. I'm done, right? Like, I just need to call him in. Yeah. I just need to pray him in. And so one of my mentors, who's in his 50s, he called me, and I'm on my gratitude walk in the morning in Santa Monica. And he's like, here's what you need to do. You need to make a list of everything you want in a man. And he goes, I know you, it's going to be long. So just go to the top 5, circle them, and those are your non-negotiables. And I was like, got it. Okay, let's go. January 1st, I drive to Malibu. I take my little dog. We're at the beach. Sun is shining. Gratitude. It's a new year. It's a new day. I write out my list. Number 1, loves God. Number 2, can lead me, is a leader. Parentheses, doesn't take my BS. Because the thing is, I always trumped a lot of men in my life. I needed a strong, stable, masculine man. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I write out this list. 1 month later, I'm busy. It's before COVID, before the world shut down. I'm in Tampa speaking at an event and then doing an NBC piece. Got to fly back. My business partner rings me and he's like, hey, I got this new guy that's going to sell our supplements. I don't know how good he's going to do, but he's a pretty big business guy. He's a business consultant. He's speaking in Burbank with one of the Shark Tank guys. Can you go drop off products? And I was like, yo, I'm in Tampa. No, I'm busy. And he's like, well, let me put you on a FaceTime and at least welcome him to the business. I want him to meet the higher ups. I was like, fine, I'll do a FaceTime. I'll pull in a favor. So I do a FaceTime and it's my now fiance, Jake. And there was just hi. And I'm not like this. I mean, I roll with the bros, I'm usually pretty cordial. It just straight face, straight laced. You have to be. And I was just oh, I just was curious. But there wasn't even oh, I like him. I was just curious. So I welcomed him to the team and I was like, okay, my plane lands, I'll run home to Santa Monica, I'll get dressed quick, I'll go to Burbank, I'll drop off the products, but I'm only dropping off the products. So, you're going from East Coast, West Coast, hot mess, express, all the things. And he's getting ready to speak. So I walk into this entrepreneur event and there's men everywhere. It's just a bro fest. And they all had their booths. And there was just people networking and it was crazy. And I walk in with my protein bars and my protein. And I'm just trying to drop this stuff off and get out. But he comes down because he was getting ready to speak. I had no idea. They changed his speaking time. He comes down and he's in peak state. You know how you get into before you speak? He's fully charged. And he's like, hi, Emily. And it was because he didn't give me loads of attention. And I wasn't the star of the show, but he was. It was almost like refresh. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And So he's like, I'm about to go in. I got to head backstage. I'd love to have you just step in for a little bit and just listen. And it was almost like he didn't even give me a chance to say no. Mm-hmm. So he goes backstage. His assistant looks at me. He has this big booth with like his face on the side of the booth. So tacky. I make fun of him now. But I was like, it was like, you know. And so I was like, well, fine. I'll listen to him talk. So I'm in this room and he goes on stage. You got to remember, I'm usually the speaker. Mm-hmm.